Krzysztofas Pendereckis. Jo muzika skamba garsiausiose pasaulio salėse, Stanlio Kubriko, Davido Lynčo, Martino Scorsesės filmuose. Ją atliko Herbertas von Karajanas, Johnny's Greenwoodas, Mstislavas Rostropovičius, Anne-Sophie Mutter. Jo opera pastatyta Leskalos operos teatre Milane. Jis užaugino 3 nuostabius vaikus, pastatė didelį muzikos centrą ir pasodino 14 000 medžių parką. Pasaulinio garso lenkų kompozitorius Krzysztofas Pendereckis atskleidžia jums savo kelią į sėkmę. Dear Maestro, first of all, I would like to congratulate you on behalf of all Lithuanians on your upcoming 80th anniversary. You have my deepest respect as well as utmost admiration about your generation in general. You know, Montserrat Caballé, who I have worked and sang with a lot, was also born in 1933. Yes. So could you tell us your secret of longevity, energy, and creativity?
I don't think so. There is a secret. I think maybe the good genes. My grandfather and grandmother were living very long as well, and they were healthy and creative too. So, I think.
But your energy, you know, it really surprised me. You are such strong man, and I feel you possess a great deal of inner balance.
Yeah, but this makes my music, I think, and something which I love. I am doing actually what really I wanted always to do, to be a musician, to be a composer, and I am doing this. I think that I am happy.
So do you think that the music is giving also longevity for everyone?
No, maybe the balance.
Balance.
Maybe balance. I think this is most important.
Yes. How do you celebrate your anniversary?
No, it's a busy year for me. This year, because there are so many concerts, so many performances of my music, so it's not easy. Especially the second half of the year, I will be actually always only traveling. But the first half of the year, I was composing a lot.
Yes, really?
Yeah, yes.
Yes, because I'm also very happy that in Vilnius it was your Polish Requiem, and of course I had a chance to perform a soprano part, and I think it was a big success and a big joy to sing it and for all public. It was the first time, but I hope not the last. For me personally, one of the most beautiful pieces of your music is Čekone.
Yeah.
And in Vilnius, Čekone was like for crying, you know, people were crying.
This was also a special day for
yes, it was Vilnius, exactly. It was a special day in Lithuania. And could you tell me more of how you composed this part?
Yeah, you know, the Requiem I was writing many years, adding the movements.
Yes.
Actually, altogether 25 years.
25.
Yeah, and I was waiting with the last part, which is not the last in a score, but in the middle actually, light coming.
Light coming, yes.
You know, it's Verklärung.
Yes.
And I was looking for something without voices, because you know the whole piece is full of choir and soloists, and I wanted to just instrumental music to write, and it happened that after the death of the Giovanni Paolo II,
yes,
I decided to write a piece in a memory of his, and I wrote Čekona, which is variations, and this became the one very important part of this piece. Yeah.
Of Requiem.
Yeah.
And as I told you, for me it was also fantastic because in the music of Čekone, in the end, I was hearing some things from Wagner, you know, from
really?
Yes,
no,
from Valkyrie, and it's incredible, you know, in this mode.
Maybe because of the chromaticism in this piece, yes.
Yes, but it's exactly what you told, the light, you know, it's pam, it's like, yes. Mm-hmm. And I'm very happy that the first part of Polish Requiem, Lacrimosa, This is the solo for soprano.
Was you sang this beautifully.
Thank you, Maestro. Thank you very much.
This is actually the first part, which I wrote.
Yes.
Which I wrote. This was commissioned by Wałęsa.
Yes.
To celebrate the unveiling of the monument in Gdańsk, and the time was a very dark time in Polish history, actually. And so I decided to take this. This was about commemorating the workers that were shot in by the communists. 70. Nobody knows exactly how many people were killed. So I wrote this music, and with Lacrimosa, and of course Lacrimosa is a part of the Requiem in the liturgy. So, and then a couple of months later, I think 3 or 4, Cardinal Wyszyński, which was a very important figure in the post-war Polish history, died.
Oh.
And the same day he died, I wrote Agnus Dei. Yeah. And so then I had already 2 parts of the Requiem. And then Rostropovich gave me a commission. He was at that time director of Washington Orchestra to write the piece. And so I decided I will start Requiem. And so he performed the first 30 minutes or 35 minutes, which I wrote.
Was it your idea to do a Requiem, the whole Requiem, or it was the Mstislav Rostropovich?
No, it was mine.
It was your idea.
This was such a situation in Poland, you know, struggling for freedom and unrest, and so I decided that this is time that I would like to write something connected with history.
Yes, and you mentioned Wałęsa. Could you tell us more about the relationship with Wałęsa? Was he supporting you as a musician, as a great musician, already at that time?
Not really, no. But you know, he just one day he called me and told me that he was asking older composers to write this piece for the unveiling of the monument, and they said no because they were. You know, this was not easy at that time. It was dangerous as well. But I said, oh, of course, I am going to do it. And then we met several times later. I like him. He is a very important figure in our history as well.
Yes, and so I mean, he has also a big courage, no? Because he asked you to exactly in this time, this difficult time. Yes. It is not the first time you are in Vilnius. So what do Lithuania and Vilnius mean for you?
You know, I'm coming here first time maybe in the middle of 90s. But this was a delegation of the Polish delegation, the political. And then I met some people here, and especially Mr. Kavicius, who then started to invite me. And so I was coming back and also conducting the orchestra here and the chamber orchestra. And I went for tour abroad with the orchestra and also with the chamber orchestra. So, and then my opera was played here. So I used to come, and I love this city very much.
Some of your music has been adapted for film soundtracks, like The Shining by Stanley Kubrick, such a famous film, Wild at Heart and Iceland Empire by David Lynch, Shutter Island by Martin Scorsese, and you also composed music for Andrzej Wajda's film Katyn.
Yes, I didn't compose the music. There was taken from my other pieces.
Adapted.
From also, also from Requiem, the fragment. I am not writing music for movies because it's dangerous, you know. First, you can make very easy money, much better than than being, you know, a classical composer. And this is dangerous. Then I would maybe go to the other side and writing only music for movies. No, I would like to stay, you know, what I am. Some stage director, like Kubrick, I remember one day he called me and asked me if I would be interested to write for his new movie, Shining. Music, you know, I said, unfortunately, I'm busy because writing some other pieces, but I gave him some ideas, which pieces he could use, and he did. And he did an excellent job. As in the case of Wajda, I wanted very much that my music will be there in this piece, because my uncle was killed. Yes, and his father too. So we decided that there would be my music, and he took fragments, for example, also from Requiem to this
Which
movie.
part?
This is a cappella, Agnus Dei.
Agnus Dei.
Agnus Dei, yes. On the last thing, you know, they were terrible. He did, after shooting the people, you know, and the officers, there is a fragment of Agnus Dei.
Wie auch wir vergeben unseren Schuldigern.
How would you explain yourself the secret of your success? Because, you know, what moment or who stands behind the start of your international career?
You know, it just happened, I think. I was lucky that after I finished the High School of Music, the Academy of Music, they call that, I took part in a competition for composers, for young composers. I wrote 3 pieces it was very important for me to receive the first prize, because first prize, there was a 59,
yes.
59, beginning of 59, but I was writing 58. I wanted to, first prize was the passport to the West, so I could go. Yeah, the first time I was trying to get a passport, they never gave me passport. Until, you know, I wrote 3 pieces, but one piece I wrote with the right hand. The second piece I wrote was my left hand. And so nobody could recognize what, you know, there's not the same composer. And the third piece I wrote, and then I asked my colleague to make copies. So there were 3 different pieces, and stylistic also different. So I sent for the competition, and I received all the prizes of competition. But first prize was very important for me. There was a trip, I received passport, so I went to Italy for. I remember there was I mean, there was not much money. There was $100 which I received, but I stayed in Italy 6 weeks.
6 weeks?
Yeah, for $100. But
incredible.
At that time it was possible.
What do you like in Italy? The food?
No, of course, food, yes. but the architecture, yeah, of course, everywhere. Yes. On the fantastic cities, I was traveling. This was my dream to go to Italy, and so for me it was fantastic. And during I was in Italy, I didn't have, as you know, very much money, so I think the only pizza I was, or spaghetti I was eating, and not even wine and water. So and living in a very small hotels, but traveling through Italy, and I have also had time at that time, and so I was starting to write 2 pieces there. The Trenody, which become
very famous?
Yeah, very famous, and Anaclasis, which was also very famous at that time. I wrote traveling in Italy. So
if we are talking about the Threnody, after the '61 UNESCO premiere of Threnody for the victims of Hiroshima, you have been often invited to compose for individual festivals and theaters.
Yeah.
And even the French government commissioned a piece with you in '98 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of the French Revolution. And Russia has also commissioned music for 850th, anniversary of the founding of Moscow.
Maybe 750th, maybe.
850th,
really?
When I found it, yes.
I see, maybe.
And could you tell more about how they addressed you?
In the case of Russia, Moscow, the director of one of the program, the TV program, came to visit me in Krakow. And I didn't have time really to do it because I was writing other pieces, but he was demanding and asking, and so I did, and it became a very important piece. There is the relation with the people. Traveling, you meet people, or by the performances of my music, I would meet some conductors, of course, and director of orchestras, and so.
Such famous like Lorin Mazel, and also Zubin Mehta. They were conducting.
Ormandy and from Karajan, and so I was lucky to meet so many fantastic musicians, the greatest musicians on the time.
Your concert for solo instruments are dedicated to such musical celebrities as Mstislav Rostropovich, Anne-Sophie Mutter, and Jean-Pierre Rampal, and who were also the first to perform your music. Did you know all those people personally?
Yeah. Yes, of course. I was very good friend with Rostropovich for many, until he died, and I wrote for him 4 pieces. So, you know, those pieces you mentioned, they were inspiration also for my instrumental pieces.
Yes.
Like Anne-Sophie Mutter, I met through von Karajan. She was maybe 12 or 14 at that time, already a fantastic player. And then later, I wrote for her the violin concerto. Also, I met in New York because I was living also in New Haven, Connecticut. Isaac Stern, he asked me to write for him the concerto, so I did. I think all the concerti. I wrote almost 15, actually, instrumental concerti, were written for the specific pieces, people which I met, which I like, and I admire them. So I was really very lucky.
Very lucky. And I know also now you wrote one piece for Anne-Sophie Mutter?
Yes, yes. This is the La Folia, which is, the form is close to Chacona. It's a solo piece. It's about 11 or 12 minutes. I don't even know because I just sent her the music and she's going to play it in Carnegie Hall in December. But she wanted to have it in advance.
Yes. Yeah. So it will be also for celebrating your anniversary.
Yes.
Fantastic. Yes, yes. Do you have this habitude to work every day?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I think that the day that I am not writing music is lost for me. Not everything then later I will use, but I think it's a habit. Getting up, I'm getting up very early, and 6 o'clock usually. What can you do 6 o'clock? Writing music.
To drink coffee, writing music?
Yes.
How many hours do you sleep in the night, so?
No, I need no more than 5-6 hours to sleep, yes.
Because
I'm not very long sleeper. For me, because, you know, not for everybody, the early morning is a good, best time, but for me it's the best time. So before breakfast even, I am starting to compose.
Fantastic.
And I keep composing maybe until, if I am, of course, not busy to do something else, 12 o'clock, and then I am doing everything with the others. But this early morning, especially I am in my garden in Lusławice, I think the inspiration is coming from the bird singing or the nature especially.
Yes, because I know you are also interested in dendrology. If you talked about the gardens,
yes,
could you tell more?
I started, yes, to plant the arboretum in my house outside of Krakow. It's 100 kilometers from Krakow. And this is a very big collection now. I have maybe 1,700 species of trees and shrubs. And this is one of the biggest collection in Central Europe, maybe.
Incredible, maestro.
Yes, this is my second profession.
Aha!
And great love. But I know, because you were asking of the balance, I think the nature it's very important for me. Walking in my park, I find, balance.
Yes.
Yeah,
and you mean maybe also with silence and everything you have, it's like inspiration.
Yeah, not always silence is so necessary for me. If
Really?
I know what I'm going to do, so nothing can disturb me. Music can disturb me, of course, if there is a radio or TV or something, but nature, never.
As an opera singer, I find very exciting that you wrote 4 operas. And by the way, the second one, Paradise Lost, was staged in La Scala in Milan. Yeah. And you personally conducted it.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the singer's voice, which is only the live instrument?
For me, from the beginning, I have no voice at all. I'm not even singing. Yeah. But so I don't have this instrument. But maybe because it's a complex that I'm not able to sing, that I started to be interested in the human voice, and I discover for me that this is the best instrument. This is wonderful. This is always different. Always depends of the person. There is always for me inspiration of the sound of unlimited possibility of the voice, and the choir, of course. I know how many hours of music for choir as well, and then a lot of a cappella. So more than half of my music written until now, and this is maybe 35 or 36 hours of music.
Incredible.
It's for vocal, it's a vocal music. Operas, oratorio, a cappella, and cycles of songs as well, yeah.
So do you agree that the human voice expresses like eyes, maybe the spirit of a person?
It's like I wanted to be actually a violinist as a boy. This was my dream to be a soloist, and the voice is actually very close to, because you can express everything. Not the piano or not the other instrument, but the voice and string instrument. So I wrote so many pieces for using voices and also for strings instruments.
Yes, and your father also played instruments.
Yeah, maybe why I am musician, because he gave me the violin. He bought for me the violin, and he asked me to play. There was no discussion at that time in the early 40s that I would say no. I had to play, of course. And he was playing. He was the lawyer, advocate, but was playing every day. So then I started to do the same.
And your mom?
Mom was not interested in music, no.
You have enjoyed a very successful career as a conductor, and you started in '79. What prompted you to start conducting?
The music which I was writing in the 60s and 70s were very complicated, like the Trenodeon, Polymorphia. So, the conductor really didn't understand this music, because I invented also the new notation. So there were always problems to find a right conductor for my music. Mm-hmm. So I decided I will try to do it. So I never studied conducting.
Ah, you never studied?
No,
yes.
No. I was studying actually the first violins and then composition, but never conducting. And I started to conduct my music, and so, and maybe this was really already middle of 70s.
Do you have your favorite conductors? I mean, maybe in general.
I was lucky, really, to to know all of them, almost all of the great conductors, and all of them, they were conducting my music. I was, even the very young composers, but my music, Karajan was conducting my music, Ormandy in America, and so maybe because my music was different, my music was something absolutely new for that time. So they were interested. And then I met people I know, Lady Gergiev, who also is conducting my music. And now my wife is organizing in November a festival of my music. So I think it's 25 or 6 conductors, the great conductors are coming to Warsaw to conduct my music.
Incredible. So. And I'm also very happy that Maestro Jacek Kasprzyk also are such a big fan of your music and conducting really
No, he is the best for this piece. I cannot imagine a better conductor for Requiem. He understands this piece. He is celebrating also, conducting. Each concert is different. A couple of days before, I was in Wrocław, and he conducted this piece with his orchestra. The same came here. And you were singing.
Yes, maestro.
And so first time I heard him conducting this piece. And I must say, I don't know a better conductor specifically for this. Yeah.
And it was very interesting. Yesterday after the concert we talked, and Maestro told that he thinks Polish Requiem, it's like an opera, you know? And he's giving more this sense, and it's really, it comes such an operatic things, I feel also in this music.
Of course, as you maybe know, because you know the piece, the Verdi Requiem, of course, which is one of the greatest pieces I admire, really. So without Verdi Requiem, I don't think so I would write this piece. It's like the Sandrock Passion, without Bach, you know, great passions. I wouldn't maybe even come up with the idea to write. But I am so glad that this my Requiem now. I was in Italy in a festival, and there was a festival of Requiem. There was a Cherubini, a Verdi, and my Requiem. So I felt very proud.
Yes, I think it's one of the best requiems, your requiems in the musical story. You started teaching at the Academy of Music in Krakow immediately after your studies, as you told, and you have even been rector once.
Yeah, no, not once. I was for 3 or 4 terms, I mean, for 14 years.
Oh, 14 years.
Yes, many, many years, unfortunately, because I didn't like to...
You didn't like that?
No. But this was... my colleagues in the academy, they forced me really to do it, because there was the academy in danger, because they wanted to have somebody who was secretary of the Communist Party in the school to become a rector. So there was a delegation came to me and said that if not me, then there will be somebody who was playing the accordion or something, you know, not really good musician. And so I said yes, and then I was doing this for 14 years. But this is, of course, a lost time for me because I didn't do much really. I was just the sham of the school at that time.
The name, like a protector.
Yes, yes.
Like a protector. And you have worked at the Hochschule für Musik in Essen, also at the Yale University.
Yeah.
Yes, School of Music. And you are an honorary doctor, professor, and member more in like 30 high schools.
Even, I think more than 40.
Even
it doesn't matter. I am not collecting
30, yes.
all the
But
titles.
what does it mean for you?
Yeah, recognition is always nice, of course, but, you know, I am not collecting what I said, so it's not so important, I think, for me.
Yes, you are real. Real artist.
What is important and what will be left after, I mean, my composition.
Yes.
And I must tell you that as a professor, which I was for many, many years, I don't think so I was a good professor because, you know, how can you teach composition? I really don't know. I was teaching them what I have been taught, counterpoint, orchestration, and giving them some advice, but not really teaching composition because this is impossible. Impossible, really.
Yes, because it comes from...
No, how can you teach somebody to be creative? You know, somebody is creative, and then, of course, I can help him and teaching him the polyphony, especially. I was lucky that my professors, 3 of them, they were really focus of polyphony, teaching me, and I think it was, otherwise I wouldn't be able to write such a piece like Requiem without knowing polyphony, really.
Yes. Was it difficult to live out from music and composition in the beginning of your career?
No, you know, I was always also focused of the music, actually. I was, in the beginning, I was writing to be able to live, of course. I was writing music for the theaters and short movies. There was a time of, this was in the 50s actually, in the very beginning of 60s. So because of that I could live actually very, very good and to concentrate on my music.
But you mean the documentary films, short films?
Everything,
like everything?
Everything. I was really, there was like hautura for me. I didn't take it very seriously because serious was only my music, but to make money. I was building the house, and at that time I needed money, so I was writing a lot of the music for the theaters and movies.
Maestro, what is your attitude to religion? I am asking because you wrote so many religious pieces.
The first is my family, because my mother was my grandfather was a very religious man. And yeah, and that time, living in Poland, especially in after the war, and the time of the Russians, where the religion was, and church maybe, was only place that you felt free, and you could, I think, identify yourself with something. So, and then I started to be interested in vocal music, and of course the best texts are religious texts. And so I started to write songs. Bigger piece was a Psalm of David's. And then it happened that the next texts were also religious pieces. And then I decided I will write the Passion. And then I wrote Credo, I wrote the Requiem, I wrote Uczenia. Many, of course, pieces, and 4 operas, all more or less a religious subject. Yeah.
But Maestro, was it like a protest a little bit?
Yes, because at that time in Poland, religious music was forbidden. I mean, no, such a music was not played. So actually, after the big success of my Saint-Luc Passion in '66 in Germany, became possible to perform religious music in Poland.
Only?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maestro, you are represented by a very famous short music publishers and company. How and when did your collaboration with them begin?
As I am not mistaken, it was 67. I signed a contract. As you know, the short now is the biggest, actually, publisher in Europe, and the owner of the publishing house is also my good friend. So we become part of the family. And it's very important for me that I would write a piece, send by email to the short, and they are copying in and writing from the computer, because I am not using computer.
Ah, you don't?
No. I am the old generation. I don't want to learn now. It's too late, maybe, for me. I am writing everything by hand.
Fantastic.
Yes, everything.
Yes. But it's, you know, like a books. We have to read normal books, not in the computer. I also agree with you.
Yeah. My granddaughter knows everything, of course, using computer. Me not, no.
Yes, it's like a new generation. We call it indigo, you know, children.
Yeah.
And they can use it also without the learning. It's incredible.
Of course.
It's like in the, yes.
In the blood.
In the blood. Maestro, you are one of the most celebrated contemporary composers in Poland and also around the world. Do you feel like a Polish citizen or more like international figure?
It was different, because I used to live in a different part of the world, in America, and I was living in Switzerland, I was living in Germany, in Austria. But there was a time also, a difficult time, that I was thinking maybe I will leave Poland and live abroad. But fortunately, I started to plant my park in the beginning of '70s. So my roots were there. I found the wonderful place with an old house, 2 houses, 18th and 16th century. Around, I was buying the land and planting trees. And this became my second profession, really. And since that time, this park is wonderful, big trees already. So I think because of my trees, I went back to Poland.
You see,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah, because they were like my children. And there are many, there are thousands of course. And I decided that it was, of course, also Poland was changing, you know, and after 90, there was normal, back to normal.
And you told me also that you built a new concert hall, 680.
Yes. This is
yes.
not only a concert hall, it's is a music center. It's a European music center of my name. It's not my property. I gave the land, of course, why it is close to my house. But this belongs to the state. It's the Ministry of Culture. We receive money from European Union, and it's a fantastic, like, permanent campus with a big halls, almost 700 places, and hotel for almost 100 students, so we can have an orchestra there. We are organizing the courses for the master courses for the young, gifted students, not only from Poland.
Maestro, traditionally, at the end of interviews, I ask 10 short questions, and I would like to ask you also short answers. Do you consider yourself as somebody who was born under a lucky star?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Because, you know, coming from the small city, it was also my dream to go out and do something, and I did. Yeah, absolutely.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you often express your gratitude, maybe to God, to universe?
Yes, to God. Yeah.
And to people who help you.
Especially to my wife. She is really my companion, and organizing my life. You know, I hate to write letters or answer mails or something, and she is doing for me. And also supporting me very much. So I'm at home sitting only. What I have to do is just to write music. I don't care about anything.
Could you tell more about your family?
Yes, one daughter, she's 56, from the first marriage, and then I have 2 children with Elżbieta. They live all in Krakow, so I'm very happy. And now we have the granddaughter, which is my great love. And now I understand what is child really. Not because I never have really much time for my children. I think I was a very good father, but I'm always busy and traveling. But now my granddaughter, my really,
Shine
yeah,
the light.
Yes, and I think we are very close.
Could you single out some of your positive personal features?
Yeah, I think I am very good organized because of my grandfather who left me. They taught me this. And so because of that, and I think my character is very lazy, but I'm defeating this, you know, all my life, getting up in the morning. I would like maybe to do nothing, but I force myself to write music, so I'm doing.
Do you have any negative traits?
I don't think so, especially. No.
It's
yeah, because no, I don't think so, really. No, I love people.
Are you gourmet? Do you have your favorite dish?
Yeah, you know, traveling so much and living in many countries, I was, of course, always searching for something different. I don't know on the first time. But now I observed that in the last years I am going back to what I was eating as a child. And so the Polish cuisine, I think, now I prefer. And we have a very good cook. And so at home I am eating actually now the Polish food. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite drink?
Water.
Water?
A little bit. If alcohol, then vodka. And wine a little bit, but vodka, yeah.
Are you interested in pop culture?
You know, as a young man, I was also very much interested in jazz. And jazz was forbidden in Poland as the music which came from the West.
It was like free music.
Yeah. But I was very much interested that time. But now, I met 2 years ago Johnny Greenwood, became good friends, and he wrote 2 pieces based or influenced by my music. You know, Johnny Greenwood is a Radiohead. It's a very famous pop star.
Yes.
Star. And we have together 3 concerts, one in Poland, in a big hall in Wrocław for 9,000 people. Then we organized a concert, went to London, and it was also a very big success. And then close to Danzig, in Gdynia, there was open-air concert with his music and my music, and there was 50,000 young people came. But this is only two years ago. I become really interested also in such music. And, yeah.
Do you feel like a global celebrity?
Yes, but you know, it just happened. I was not doing anything to help it, because this was not my need really to be. No, but you know, writing some pieces which are becoming the pieces where they're very famous, is like Requiem and other pieces. So I become also a celebrity.
How would you describe a successful person?
I am not the typical person, the successful person. I think I am somebody who lives very quiet, not going out.
Maestro, there is a tradition to play our guests' favorite music at the end of this program, and it's like, you know, hoping that it would reflects the spirit of the person. What is your favorite piece? It could also be from your music.
Then maybe Czakona.
Czakona. I agree very much, because it's one of the most loved musical pieces. Thank you so much for this exclusive interview, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you very much, Maestro.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much.